Welcome to the KMC Commander IoT platform video series. In this video, we'll walk through the settings that, for increased security, can only be accessed when logged into the gateway locally. Now let's look at the Wi-Fi settings. You can disable the Wi-Fi here after initial setup of the gateway. Otherwise, you can leave it enabled and continue using it as an access point. Or you can configure it to be used as a client to connect to a Wi-Fi network. If you choose to leave the access point on, you should change the password from the factory default. The new passphrase must be at least 8 characters, have both upper and lowercase letters, and include at least one number. If you want to use Wi-Fi as a client, below AP mode, select Client, then click Save to reboot the gateway. Once the gateway reboots after 2 or 3 minutes, enter the information for the Wi-Fi network that you want to connect the gateway to, then click Save. The first sections are for the 2 Ethernet ports. Once again, Ethernet 1 has DHCP enabled by default but can be changed here. From the factory, Ethernet 2 is configured with a static IP address of 192.168.2.1. Here you could also determine if each interface is designed as a LAN interface or a WAN interface. By default, both Ethernet ports are set as LAN type and no unsolicited incoming requests are allowed on WAN. Note that only one Ethernet port should be configured for connection to the internet, and the ports must have different IP addresses. If the network does not provide an initial NTP time service, a different time server can be entered in the date and time settings to allow initial setup of the system. After that, the next section is the whitelist and blacklist for both LAN and WAN. Addresses on the whitelist are always allowed access, while blacklisted addresses are never allowed access. Addresses can be added by entering the IP address, then selecting Add. If you are going to have remote access via a VPN into the box, then you may need to change the LAN whitelist to include your VPN subnet. The subnet needs to be added as a range of addresses, not just a single address. Just type in the base address, followed by a slash, then the subnet mask length. Not only can you whitelist addresses, but you could also whitelist ports. If you are using BACnet, you may need to add a UDP port for traffic if it is not already in the list. Once edits are complete, click Save. Remember, the whitelist and blacklist only affect unsolicited incoming requests. There are no blocks for outbound messages. Generally speaking, don't change any of the default listings in these sections. You could lose communication with the KMC Commander gateway or cloud services if you delete the wrong information. The next section is the IP table settings. Essentially, this acts as the master override whitelist for the LAN and WAN lists. Enter the IP addresses and ports as needed and hit Save. Once again, we caution against deleting the default settings for this tab. The next area is proxy settings. If your KMC Commander gateway requires it, here you can enter the HTTP and HTTPS proxy addresses. The last section is SSH settings. This section allows you SSH or secure shell access, mainly used when you contact KMC technical support. That's all the local settings for the KMC Commander gateway. Since 2014, KMC Controls has partnered with Intel to bring our industry the latest technology around cloud-connected smart buildings and cybersecurity. Intel is a clear leader in the space, and we are going to continue to build our products and services around their best-in-class technology. For more information about KMC Commander, please check out our other videos in this series. And to learn more about any of the solutions from the building geniuses at KMC, visit us on the web at kmccontrols.com.